Greetings, everyone, and welcome to We Are ACEDS, streaming live on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. My name is Mike Quartararo, and I am the president of ACEDS. Today, we are joined by Venky Srinivasan, Chief Evangelist at Reynen, a cloud-based platform that provides easy, secure access to legal technology applications for law firms and corporate legal departments. Venky, thanks for joining us. We recently partnered with Reynen to offer our training programs in the Reynen Solutions Store. So we're excited to promote that partnership and to let everyone know about the incredible platform that Reynen has built. Venky, thanks again for joining us, for making time for us. I hope you and yours are well and you're holding up in these odd times. I know we're coming out of the pandemic and hopefully we'll get to meet in person again soon. But let's get started. For those who don't know, tell us a little about yourself first, and then tell us about Reynen what it is and what Reynen offers.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Venky Srinivasan, and I'm based in lovely Toronto, Canada, and I'm the Chief Evangelist at Reynen. Primarily, I work with the customer success team to be the voice of our law firm customers and the CIOs to drive further value of the Reynen platform and the Reynen solution as a whole. I've been in the legal industry for over 27 plus years now. And prior to joining Reynen in November of 2019, I was the CTO at Stikeman Elliott, one of Canada's large law firms. I was with Stikeman for, I believe, 20 plus years.
Awesome. And we know Stikeman. Stikeman's a fan of ACEDS, so we're glad to make that connection. Tell us a little bit about Reynen. What is Reynen? What is it? What's its purpose? What's its mission?
Oh, great. Other than taking over the entire world, Reynen is the single platform for legal tech that law firms and corporate legal departments can deploy. They can deploy the Reynen platform either in a self-managed model behind their firewall as an on-prem data center type of model, or in their virtual private cloud. It could be in Azure, it could be in AWS, or they can subscribe to our recently launched full service model, which is a fully hosted, managed, turnkey type of solution that they can leverage. The Reynen platform itself can be used to find and evaluate legal tech applications. They can securely test and deploy the legal tech applications and strategically manage them post deployment.
And it's secure too, right, Venky?
Absolutely. I mean, security is paramount. And one of the actual main drivers of the Reynen platform is security. And we'll get to that in a second. A lot of people refer to Reynen as the app store for legal. And that analogy suits us pretty well because we do have a solution store, right, which is the front end of the platform, and which has got really rich curated content. This is where users can find out a lot about new legal tech solutions and evaluate them there using the test drive functionality that we offer. The App Store's Backend Controller allows you to further evaluate these cutting-edge legal tech applications by way of a secure proof of concept, whereby the firm can use their own data to actually test out these applications. What the Backend Controller also provides is this whole one-click install and deployment experience. It's more or less like what you do on an iPhone and an Apple iPhone. I'm an iPhone user, so you go into an app store, you like an app that you think is really going to help you, you click and bam, it just installs it for you without really disrupting anything else. And now with the magic of our engineers, what we have built is that entire one-click deployment experience, except it's for enterprise applications. So when you're ready and you actually click and you deploy that legal tech application, it deploys onto our platform. As I mentioned before, that platform can be in your data center or in Azure, VPC, or AWS, or wherever else you are running the Reynen Core platform. And then we provide you with all the necessary dashboards to effectively manage each one of the application and the underlying platform itself. What the Reynen Core platform actually allows you to do is you get access to the modern cutting-edge legal technology without having to sacrifice security or stability or data residency or data governance type of requirements that every law firm or corporation has these days. They have complete control of both the application and the data. And essentially, if I can put it in simple words, it'll be like they are taking the application to the data rather than taking the data to the application, which is typically what you tend to do when you subscribe to a vendor SaaS type of a solution.
And Venky, I want to be clear, because
sure.
ACEDS is sort of hyper focused on the e-discovery lifecycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is not just about e-discovery. This is a much broader set of applications that can be used across different administrative components of a firm, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have all types of categories of applications, right, from contract management to AI-based solutions to machine language translation. I mean, it's really a very broad category of including e-discovery type of applications. Very broad category of applications that and there are certain applications that really lend themselves to the actual Reynen Core model of the platform, especially when you're going to be putting confidential client data into the cloud. And that's where you can really benefit from having your own platform, running your own set of containerized applications, which is behind your firewall, behind your control, so you can really leverage the platform without having to worry too much about the security. And now, I mean, how do we make all this magic happen, right? So it is, at least when I first came on board to Reynen Core, and I was completely excited and intrigued by this. And it is like magic, because here is a SaaS application that's running in the cloud, and all of a sudden you can take it and run it on-prem or run it in your data center. And that's thanks largely to our dynamic team of software engineers in Amsterdam. They built this Reynen Core platform using proven open source technologies that are offered by CNCF, which is the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, that allows us to leverage technologies like the portability of Docker technology or the orchestration power of Kubernetes, right? So, I mean, that's how the magic actually happens for us from a technology perspective in terms of running these cloud applications on the Reynen Core platform in a containerized environment. And just to sum it all up, lastly, you probably already know this, but for those of you who don't know, we also have the support of 20 of the top global law firms by way of a consortium who provide us with valuable feedback and input and guidance along the way as we develop this platform.
That's got to be incredibly valuable. That kind of feedback is hard to come by. Let's talk a little bit about the solution store, because ACEDS has partnered with Reynen Core to be in the solution store, and what it does is it helps anyone who's subscribed to Reynen Core get access to our training programs. What is the solution store, and talk a little bit about the partnership with ACEDS. I'd love to promote that.
Absolutely. We are really excited, and I'll tell you, there's a ton of synergy between what we are doing and what ACEDS is doing. But to start off, the solution store, as I mentioned earlier, is a centralized place where someone can go to look at various cutting-edge legal technology applications and learn about them through the rich curated content that we create and maintain for every app in the store. As of date, we have 130 plus applications in the store. There are more coming on board on a weekly basis. We feel that the solution store is a key part of the value proposition that we offer to the law firms and to the corporate legal departments. Users, through our taxonomy of category of application and the various filters that we have in the solution store. The users can easily find what they're looking for and gain insights into exactly what the functions and features are for each of these solutions, what are available deployment and licensing models, how much is it going to cost them from an infrastructure perspective, what is the security maturity of the vendor, how is the application security, what are the terms and conditions. It gives them a real quick start, I should say, about really understanding what is going to take to bring that application on board or start to use that application. So the solution store becomes a very key success factor for the Reynen Code platform itself. The synergy with ACEDS is very interesting, and you tell me whether this is going to resonate with you. EDiscovery Skills, we know, is very key to managing litigation files effectively, right? Tons of people need it. Tons of people know that they need it, but a lot of people, I think, don't know how to get these essential skills, right? It's the same way we look at things in the legal tech world, right? We provide access to cutting edge legal technology, right? We just don't stop there, right? We enable you as a law firm or a corporate legal department to do it faster, to do it better, to do it cheaper. Mm-hmm. That's exactly the same with ACEDS, right? Through various learning programs that you have, through your certification process, through providing that network of like-minded individuals, right? You're making e-discovery faster, better, cheaper. So we feel in many ways, I was discussing this with our chief of strategy, Christian Lang, who you probably already know, and he was saying that ACEDS is actually a reflection of how our ecosystem is trying to leverage technology, right? How you use technology to create a result, or how you enable people to drive those results. Right, so we are really truly excited with the ACEDS partnership. ACEDS is a really nice complement in our Reynen Code solution store.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words, and I agree. What we try to do here is really complement the entire legal technology industry. I like to say that we are a force multiplier, if you will, because it doesn't really matter we try to remain technology agnostic. It doesn't matter the tools. We're trying to teach people theoretical and knowledge-based skills that can really help them to step up in whatever job they're doing. I appreciate that. I appreciate the partnership. Thank you for that. Tell us a little bit about what's new and different. I know you've got sort of two new initiatives going on, the Corporate Legal Consortium and this full service model that I read about recently. Tell us a little bit about those, and then let's talk about the vendor curation process for anyone who wants to know.
Yeah, I'll just back up a little bit further than that, if I may, and spend just a minute. I mean, our phase one, when we first started off and we launched the whole Reynen Code platform, we were focused on the whole security and the aspect of running containerized applications, and how do we provide the orchestration and the dashboarding and the management capabilities for the law firms. And that was our focus first. And, we do a good job of that, and we are continuing to evolve that. There are released several versions, and our CTO and our software engineers, they don't stop improving this, and new versions are coming out fast and furious, and we are getting new functionality into the hands of our users. Then we started to focus on the whole speed and agility, and how can we speed up the whole the research, evaluation, testing, purchase, and deployment process, right? Which is the entire process that a law firm or any corporate legal department goes through in looking at an application for a solution or a problem that they are trying to solve. And that's our whole months to minutes, mantra. And how can we make that into a reality? And we are spending a ton of time on that, right? This is something like a typical process to actually research an application all the way through testing, doing a POC and contract negotiation and installation of the hardware and deployment. And I've been there. For a large firm, going through this process takes anywhere between 6 to 9 months. And if we can shorten that in minutes or hours. That's a huge value add. So we are really focusing on that and really focusing on the test drive experience for the law firms. We have some early movers and vendors who have made the test drive functionality available on the platform. We are growing the test drive ecosystem very rapidly, and we have a number of law firm customers who are asking for this functionality, and we are really working hard with the vendors to make this into a reality.
It sounds like you've really disrupted, and I spent 20 years working at firms, investigating, vetting software applications and then deploying them. But it sounds to me like you're really disrupting, and what's cool about it to me is that you're disrupting the RFP, the RFI process, right? Yeah. It's making that, from a 9-month to, a 60-day deployment from, in fact, I know it can be done sooner, frankly, because I've talked to leaders at Reynen and understand it can be done much sooner, but that disruption is what makes it really cool. And I think innovative, because it just, if you need something, here's the solution, go.
Yeah, exactly. And as we always say, the key to success is to fail fast. And we give you that opportunity to fail, and failure is not a bad thing, right? You fail fast, and you find the right application, and you can deploy it again in minutes and start to leverage it and start to use it and put it into the hands of your lawyers. So, which is where, you drive maximum value. So yeah, we are truly excited. We have good disruption and that's what we hear from all our law firm customers and corporate legal and whoever we speak to. And, the vendors are starting to see it, and they are all seeing the value that we bring to the table in terms of how quickly we are able to put their solution into the hands of the end user. And it's just huge. As a vendor, the sales cycle for a law firm is extremely long. Right? It's not easy. So, and we are working very hard with the vendor community and the law firms to make this as quickly, as short as possible. Yes.
What is the Corporate Legal Consortium?
Oh, well, we'll get to that in just a sec. The corporate legal, I can talk a little bit about that. The Corporate Legal Consortium is something that our CEO has been putting together. It's been his baby for a while. We are trying to do it similar to the way we have the Global Law Firm Consortium. We wanted a Corporate Legal Consortium, and it's the who's who of the large corporations, the global corporations, and there's going to be an announcement that's going to be made soon. And we can learn more about it at that time. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much. But let's talk a little bit more on the full service model, which I'm really, really excited about. And it's very close and very near and dear to my heart. We have Womble, Bond, and Dickinson, who are our first full service model customer. Having been in law firms like you, Mike, for 20 plus years, we all know how stretched the IT teams are in law firms, or any place for that matter, right? It's always a struggle in terms of doing your day-to-day job and taking on these new projects and rolling out, new applications at fast and furious pace. And especially now, more than ever, there are so many new cutting-edge applications that are coming out in the market, and lawyers and innovation people and KM people are always looking to test these new applications and trying to see how it can make the lawyers and the practice of law more efficient. So they want to do it and put it into the hands of, they want to deploy it and put it into the hands of lawyers. So how the full service model, what it does is it alleviates that burden from the IT team. So what we do in the full service model is we build a secure VPC in Azure or AWS, whichever ones the law firm prefers. We deploy the platform and we secure it, we manage the platform, and we do the application deployment after based on the law firm's requirements. If they want an application for a POC, we deploy the application for a POC and they can test it. Once it's done, we take care of the cleanup and clean up of the data and the application. If they want to really deploy a production-ready application and put it into the hands of the users, then we also do that for the law firm. For the law firm perspective, it becomes a single platform or an umbrella to manage all their containerized apps. It's one number to call for them for an application triage type of support. Something goes wrong, they don't have to worry about who to call. They call us, we triage, we find out exactly where the problem is. If it's a problem with the vendor application, then we speak to the vendor directly on behalf of the law firm, work to resolve the issue, and then go back to the law firm customer or the corporate legal customer to say its problem has been resolved.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think it's very, very excited about that. We are just raring to go. We just completed confirming the architecture, and it's very much starting the build process for Womble, Bond, and Dickinson of our full service model in Azure. And I know that there are many firms who are very close, and they want us to really complete this and want to make a decision to move forward with the full service model. I think it's really going to take off because it makes things really, really easy for the law firms to get onto the platform and really start to get access to this cutting edge legal applications and really putting those applications into the hands of the lawyers quicker, faster, and cheaper.
Speaking of easy, tell us a little bit about the vendor curation process, Venky. What is that process, and what's your role with the team?
Like everyone else at Reynen Court, we all wear multiple hats. So we all pitch into the various teams and help out. But our vendor team themselves has been growing steadily. You would have seen the recent announcement with Sarah Glassmau, who joined us. She, like others in the team, they bring a wealth of experience and legal marketplace intelligence. And we have a really, really good vendor success team. And we have more than that. We have a very mature process now that we've been doing it for a while, of onboarding vendors. We have a really good process for to introduce the vendor to our platform and our whole curation methodology. We have a really nice phased approach for collecting the information that needs to be curated and put into the solution store. We ask some really meaningful questions. We go through the vendor demo so that we can write up about the applications and the functions and features. We don't just regurgitate what is there on your website. We don't do any cut and paste or anything like that. This is all written by the subject matter experts that we have in the vendor success team. We don't pick any winners or losers in the vendor community. We are very objective, neutral party, and we want to continue to remain that. We want to be that trusted source for our law firm customers. All the background information that we collect from all the security and the licensing and all the other type of information gives you somewhat like a mini Gartner report about any application, right? So as I mentioned before, our goal is to not only shorten the purchase cycle for the law firms and the corporate legal departments, but also to shorten the sales cycle from the vendor perspective. So we are doing everything we can to provide that information for the buyer so that we can make that whole entire process end-to-end a lot shorter than what it is today.
And I can attest that, having gone through it recently, it's pretty seamless. It's very phased and very organized, very structured in a way that whether you're selling software or a service like training and certification like we do, it's pretty it's set up to flow nicely and get your product, service, solution, whatever, out in front of people as quickly as possible. So I can appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate the feedback. Just a quick note on that. You hit it right on the head, and that's what kind of quickly it piqued my an idea that came into my head. A thought that came into my head is, the way you actually expressed it is absolutely 100% right, because we have a standardized way of collecting this information, right? We have a standardized questionnaire. We have a standardized way of laying out the information in the solution store. We want to standardize the buying experience for the law firm. So, in a lot of different ways, we are trying to standardize the whole purchasing experience for the law firms, or even the vendor onboarding experience for the vendor perspective, to make it all simpler for everyone who is as a part of our ecosystem.
Yeah, no, it was pretty seamless. This has been great, Venky. I appreciate you taking some time. Before we go, anything interesting coming up you want to share with the audience? Any events, any promotions, anything like that?
Well, we want to share with you, there is a new version of our store that's going to be launched in 6 to 8 weeks. I saw the wireframe of it maybe, I would say 2 to 3 weeks ago. Very excited by it. You're going to love it when you see it, Mike. I mean, it's got a much more granular feel to the information, more detail. The UI is fantastic. The guys have done a phenomenal job of the UI. I think it's going to really stand out. It's going to really give a very rich experience, both from a content and UI perspective for the law firm. So we're really excited about that. So keep your eyes open for that. In 6 to 8 weeks' time, we're going to do a launch of that.
Awesome. Well, you let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're happy to help you promote that. So if you want to throw something on the ACEDS blog, we're happy to help with that. So keep us posted. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are at time. Appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. Good luck in everything Reynen Court does, and thank you for being a valued partner of ACEDS. If you are interested, audience members, in our short form video interviews like this one, you can find We Are ACEDS Live in your LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook feeds, or check out the ACEDS YouTube channel where you can watch previous interviews and live streams. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day, everyone, and be kind to one another.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, everyone.